Diplomatic talks with Iran resume this week as U.S. officials warn the outcome could determine whether tensions ease or push the region closer to possible military conflict. Here's Jeremy Diamond.
As these negotiations get underway, we've been hearing from U.S. officials, we've been hearing from other officials in the region, making very clear just how difficult it will be to actually get to the kind of deal here that would be considered a good deal by the United States, one that could potentially avert armed conflict with Iran. The U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, has made clear that no one in the past, he said, has been able to get what he termed a good deal with Iran in the past. But he said, we are going to try. And President Trump has made clear that his preference is diplomacy. His preference is to get a nuclear deal in particular with Iran. But what the terms of that deal actually would be, right now, there is still quite a large gap between the U.S. position, the Iranian position, and an even larger gap between the Iranian position and the Israeli position. And that is why last week we saw the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, traveling to Washington to urge President Trump to not only get a good deal on the nuclear front, but to also make sure that this is a deal that also addresses Iran's ballistic missile program, which is of top concern to Israel because it is within range of many of those ballistic missiles, as well as Iran's support for regional proxies. The bottom line here is that those talks tomorrow are going to be critical to determining whether more diplomacy is indeed going to follow, whether these two sides determine that a deal is possible, or whether the possibility looms of those talks collapsing and very quickly things in this region going combustible, as we have been watching this major military buildup, and also, of course, the possibility of Israel either joining potential U.S. strikes on Iran should it come to that, or perhaps unilaterally taking its own action. All of these options very much on the table. Not clear yet which direction things are going in, but we will likely have a better sense of all of that tomorrow once that second round of negotiations concludes.